use the Aramaic word literally meaning in the beginning. But Uziel, he used the translation using a different Aramaic idiom, which means from the beginning. What they're saying in the Ushama text, a translation of the so-called Torah, which translate meaning wisdom. So what they're saying is that time was changed, but they have taken out wisdom. But wisdom, according to Rabbi Ginsburg in the Green, is called what? Hawa'ayah. Hawa'ayah, according to the rabbis, is the female power or aspect of Ayah. That's why they call Eve Hawa. But in the English and the Christian translator, they say Eve. But we know her name is being Hawa'ayah. But we know that wisdom, which we call in the ancient Shekinah Ayah, the Rabbi Ginsburg in this class, they say Hawa Ayah. Now here's the thing, when they changed this time and they did it from the beginning, what happened is they knew that the part that says bearer is not where it reference to, but what they said was this, what? What they say? The red, right? And what do it refers to time? The Reshit? Okay. How you pronounce that? What was that? R-E-S. Spell it for me.
R-E-S-H-I-T.
Okay. Okay, you can pronounce it Reshit. You know. So we know that the Reshit is the beginning, refers to time, and then it says what?
In the beginning, then time was the creation of everything else.
So time was created. So there's a time for this and a time for that. And Ayah had allowed him in the book of Daniel to change time. And then time, not only did that happen, but also when you change time, you change the frequency and the vibration of receiving a people from the time of the DNA and the structure. So therefore they're allowed to walk upon the ladder. What is the ladder? The ladder is your DNA. And what happened is, by changing time, and you're dealing with the videos and everything else, what happens is we notice that you go from one structure to another, but you're dealing with another thing in its entirety that takes out this realm. And in this realm, we begin to see that there is an absence of the blue. And if we notice something, in the blueness that we have, is beginning to take on an even stronger auric condition. And in this structure, what we have, the time has changed. We know that it was in the void and in the blackness, and we have the blue and the indigo misconceived as purple. And in this structure, we begin to see this ladder. This ladder is of the 22 letters of the DNA. We discussed about this in Texas and Tennessee, Chicago, and etc. Now, this thing here is, according to Rabbi Ginsburg, as they're dealing with the first four, they know that that is the divine, but they had to change the vibrations of receiving. So they changed the vibrations of receiving, so they took out the two A's, what you call A's. And that's the Aleph, which is really 80 at the least, the Ayan, or the Ayin. Then the Ayan was changed and silenced. So they say these two letters of the alphabet, Aleph, Bet, Rabet, Bet, etc., was changed to being omitted but silent. And they gave it a retiming of the sequence of the vibration and took it toward the Elohim and the Adonai sector of the vibration. Then we know that there's only 22 letters, but they added 5 final letters and inputted vowels into the structure. But the Bible still, even in the English, still give you, in the so-called common 119 of Psalms, give you only 22 letters. And that's it. So why is it that we have 22 letters, but yet we still trying to take outside of the 22 letters and make something happen outside of that? Ayah has already given you the biggest Psalms in the so-called Psalms, in the middle of the book of the so-called Bible. It says 22 letters. 22 letters. No 5 finals, no vowels. Now, in this connection here, where we're dealing with what he's doing and in this structure, they said that it suggests a correspondence of the vowel emplacement where it connects to where there's none similar to the word you that refers to the Almighty and the supernatural ability to suffer the opposite and to carry on the paradox without entering into infinite loops or logic or into the gates. Into the gates. So therefore, changing time, they changed the positions and the relativity of the frequency of the gates coming in. So what happened, instead of dealing with things that are natural, such as the 13 new moons, you recognize 12 months. But it does not stop the new moons. Understand that. Just because you said something, don't stop what it is. Now, here it is, the example. You know, I always use the example of, here's something, her name is Cynthia, but you want to call her Shorty or a hoe. Just because you call her Shorty or a hoe, her name is still Cynthia. But then when she started getting into the ancient, she found out what her name means and embrace it in the ancient. People that don't realize that when you're born, you're still born with your signature name and your signature vibration. But let's say when we change the time and when we're dealing with this, the thing is, no matter which way you look at it, this is the month of January. And in January, when we're dealing with this, we say, hey, wait a minute, where is the new moon? Where's that black dot at? And there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and also on this day also was the total eclipse, a double hit, bang. And then also in this month we have another one. So what number is that? 9. You sure now? You sure? 10, 11, 12. We only got one more month left now. You sure there's a new moon here now? You sure now? 13. So there are 13 new moons in the year 2008 in any year before and afterwards that exist in the calendar year of the civil calendar. No matter how you change its time and everything else, Ayah says in Malachi, I change not. So the system that is out in the heavens change not, especially when you're dealing with the sun and the moon to a point. What happened is we don't deal with it being the blue sky, the blue moon, or the blue structure. So in this paper that Rabbi Ginsburg has, it says that each of the letters of the 22 letters outside of time do not change, and all the letters belong to Shekinah Ayah, which he calls Hawa Ayah. Does it say that in the yellow there? Read it out loud now.
Each letter corresponds to one of the letters of the name of Hawa.
So all the letters, according to Rabbi Ginsburg, correspond to the female aspect. And this female aspect in the ancient is called Shekinah Ayah. So these letters have a spirit on them. And in this spirit, it connects to where we are. And in this understanding, they tell you that in the days of the Mashiach and those who have the seed and the spirit of the Mashiach, it is a codex that represent, and this codex and the representation, they're saying no matter what happens, it equals to